Hey, hello. How's it going? X-Way Dark, how's it going? How are you? Good to have you here. What up? How's it going? How's it been? I'm feeling kinda sleepy tonight, but I'm having my coffee right now, and I'm sure once we get started with the sculpting, I'll revive. Good sir, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Everything's going very good. I've been sculpting all day long. So yeah, it's been good. Glad the workday is done. Yeah, I know. What time is it for you, by the way? Welcome everyone. How's it going? Hey Jacob. 6:05 p.m. Oh, that's good. I like that's my favorite time of day, like around something between 5 and 9. I know. I just like how the sun's coming down. I feel very comfortable those hours. That's when I get most of my work done, actually. Good now that I'm here with you. Thank you. Thanks for saying that. Alright, so let me get started with this. So there's a lot of room to cover still, but I kind of want to get the base a little bit more done. So we'll start with that. I'm gonna grab my my clay build up, and I'm just gonna start doing. Let me lower the volume here. So I'm gonna start doing a lot of horizontal lines to make it look a little bit more rocky. Actually, let me open my references. Before sculpting anything, I gotta have my images here. Otherwise, I'll just be sculpting random stuff. Let's see, rocks. Did you guys have a chance to print the wagon? Did it come out well? I'm guessing nobody could. Wait. Is my computer frozen? Can you hear me? Is this working still? I have not. Oh, you haven't printed. Okay, that's fine. Please let me know if this is still working, because I cannot click or do anything. Just kind of froze. Let me check on my phone. We hear you. Did you import a file? What do you mean? I might have to restart my computer. It's so frozen. Cannot click. Actually, huh? That's super weird. Everything works except for the clicks on my mouse or tablet. Oh, there you go. Now something's happening. Control is on accident and I think it freezes. Control is where? On ZBrush or OBS or where? Just the computer? It's funny because I wasn't on ZBrush. I was just opening Google Images. Let's try closing this. Oh, it was pure ref. I just Alt tabbed into it and then Alt F4 to close it, and now it's working. That was super weird. Alright, let's open it again. On ZBrush, but it's trying to save the file. Oh, I would never... Well, I always use only save tools. I never Control S on ZBrush. It just saves the whole document, I think, and takes much more space than just saving the tool. So it's just some weird thing. Yeah, it was super weird. Okay, let me now grab a couple of rocks here. Okay, now that I have them, let's see. So we need harder edges, like more pinched or crisp edges. Right now they're too rounded. I mean to press Ctrl D for dynameshing, but sometimes I press S on extend. Oh, gotcha. Now with clay buildup, I'm just gonna break this borders here. Trying to put some texture in as well, to make it feel more like a rock. I know it probably won't be visible on the print, but at least the render will be cool. Alright, that's starting to look better. Kinda wanna use the H polish again, just to make it look a little bit more like there's some parts with a lot of texture, and then there's some parts that are just flat. Just, that kind of variation looks nice. Now I might, yeah, I just subdivided the mesh again. I need a little bit more geometry to play with. Now, let's see, let's try a couple of things. Might want to have a couple of cracks. But for that I'm gonna need, I think, another subdivision level. Because it looks super choppy right now. So There you go. Okay, can you believe my Warhammer army is not here yet? It's been like three weeks and it's not here. Starting to think I'll never be able to get to play it. I was more excited about painting them than playing the actual game. They're not here. Now the hype's over, and now I'm more excited about the new printer and just printing the models and painting them. Oh, by the way, Jacob, I almost bought the airbrush. It would have been sitting here for days. Glad I didn't do it. Not yet. I was about to, but then I convinced myself to wait until I had the miniatures, and then they're taking forever. I'd wait. Yeah, I'll wait. I mean, I'm sure they will arrive at some point, but I was so excited about that. Okay, now I'm trying to separate all the rocks. Oh, welcome everyone, by the way. So a couple of guys just came in on Twitch. Welcome. So I'm trying to separate the rocks from each other by doing a little separation or crack between them. From a closer distance it looks kind of weird. It just looks like they're separated, but from like once it's printed, it kind of helps the rocks look like they are sitting on top of each other. So it's helpful. Let's do the same for this one. I'm gonna divide and do exactly the same. Let's add a couple more cracks here and there. Gonna move a little bit up the intensity, just to increase it so that it's easier to use the brush instead of having to press a lot on the pen. I'm just increasing the intensity values. Now clay build up again to break all the surface, I mean all the edge, all these perfect edges. So what do you think we should put on this plaque? Like, we could come up with a random name for here, or I don't know, maybe a little drawing, something. I don't know, what do you think? Okay, now let's do the same for this part. Now, what I like to do with, where is it, clay, is just make a little brush and start doing these kind of details. Make it look a little bit more rocky. There you go. Again, I'm not sure this will show up on the prints, but at least the renders will look nicer. So it's not worthless. But actually this, like something like this would show up on a nice print. Okay, it's looking nice. And maybe grab the, where is it? Damn standard brush. It's always useful for rocks. I'll make just these little dots. Looks kind of nice. Just a little surface detail. All right. Especially on the borders. I don't want it to look too perfect like this one. Just break it a little bit. Man, this music's bad. I want some sort of fantasy soundtrack, but well, that's better. That's Game of Thrones, right? So this is starting to look like a rock. I'm trying really hard not to overdo it so that it doesn't take the whole stream just sculpting this base. That would be bad. Especially because it's not the important part of the sculpt. It's not easy to make good looking rocks, but in this case we don't want that. We just want decent rocks with a very cool looking character on top. This is looking too wavy, so let's straighten it a little bit. It's too wavy for a rock. Or at least the type of rock I'm looking for. There you go. just made some big purchases. I'd wait. Oh, I already read that. Okay. So this is all coming together. I like how this looks. Maybe just pull this in a little bit. Push this in. And pull this out. Let's divide this one, do the same as we did, but now in the lower part. So the general rule for rocks is just break the edges, make them look worn out, not perfect. Keep some surfaces with some texture and others just leave them as they are. You want that nice variation. Try not to overdo it. It's easy to go ham on it and it won't look good, I promise. It's just a little bit. Of course, I don't want these rounded edges, rounded corners. So maybe just that. Okay, now only this part's missing, and we can add a couple of this, maybe a crack or two. Okay. So I'm getting kind of bored of working on the rocks, so I'll just finish this one and go back to the character. It gets very repetitive, so try to alternate between both of them. Right now it's looking good. If I would render this, shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, it looks nice. Maybe just a little bit on this one. Alright, I think that's it for the rocks. As for now, we could just add quick texture here with this brush, just to break that surface. It's still plain right now. There you go. Okay, that looks nice. Now this metal part, Well, for starters, this should be way more detailed. Not hard to do this, so let's do it while we're working at the base. Nice. Make sure this is... Oh, that's on local symmetry, and make sure this is straight. Since it's metal, you don't want it to be that wavy. Something like that. It's the same for this part. Here. And here. Great. All right. Okay, now let's continue with what's important, the character. Last time we polished and cleaned up all of these parts here. They're looking nice. Not a lot of detail yet, but we don't need detail right now. Oh. So let's keep doing these edges like so. Gonna make sure all of these paths are round and spherical. Although they'll be damaged and hammered, so maybe I won't be as picky from now on with those. Now what I don't need is these gaps inside here, otherwise I'll have a lot of trouble while printing. So let's make sure there's no gaps, that everything looks good from all the angles. Great. Actually, we could start, like, the hair still needs a little bit work, but we could just start adding a little bit of detail here and there on these pads. Just make it look a little bit hammered, like it's been used in battle. Fought some demons. So same as a rock, I'm just going in and breaking the perfect surface with the polish brush. To make it look a little bit more interesting, not as perfect. Also, I'm not committing 100% yet to the main shapes, so I'm not doing anything crazy right now. regarding details. Just little by little, it'll be looking better and better once we add to the whole piece, but not only to certain parts of it. So let's not go crazy with this right now. Let's try to break this edges here. You can already see the difference between this top one and the ones on the bottom. They look a bit more dirty, like they've been used. Kind of tell a story. We could also add some elements that help that, like some scratches here, like she fought a big demon. That'd be cool. Let's actually do that. So I'm just gonna go super low intensity right now. Gonna put it right there, just like that. And then just with a smaller, more intense brush, go in again. Like she got scratched here in battle. Is this to show wear and tear? Yeah. A little bit. Try not to go super crazy right now with it. Just a couple of scratches here and there. We'll be coming back to all of these parts. So right now that's enough. I'm thinking these scratches here could be bigger, since they're now kind of important. So let's make them a little bit bigger. Just break that. Make it look not so perfect. Maybe even let's rise the intensity and do something crazy like this. Just break the whole thing apart in here. Now lower the intensity again. I'll just hide this inside. There you go. That looks cool. I might be getting a little bit caught up with this pad, but it's looking nice, so I don't care that much. Although the hair needs work, so let's just do this lower pad and then we'll jump to the hair. Actually, no. Let's keep that as it is and work a little bit on this one, since we've not done anything to it yet. So I'm just following the same principles, just breaking the perfect edges, the smooth surfaces, just trying to make it look a little bit dirtier, used, like it's not a new armor, so make it look like it's not. Oh, let's pinch this part here, since it's metal, supposed to be crisp on the edges. At least some of them. Okay, this works. Now the inside is also very visible most of the time, so this is what I'm loving about this print. I can get a lot more detail done since it's gonna be printed, not like full body miniatures where you won't even see the details, even if they are in the sculpts. Again, trying not to make it... I'll try to make it look straighter and not that wavy. Get that done with the pinch brush. Just making straight lines here. Should take care of it. Here as well. Okay. I'm not loving how this looks yet, so I'm gonna be lowering subdivisions and see if I can make it look a little bit better. I feel like she's missing some elements. What do you think? Should she have like a crossbow somewhere? Or some sort of weapon or item? I don't know. What do you think? Let's pinch this a little bit. Trying to make the folds here on the cloth. make it look like they are actually some kind of fabric or something that's soft. Okay, now let's see the face. I'm still not 100% happy with the nose. I don't know why. I know it's not that bad, but it's not what I'm looking for. And I cannot even tell what I want here. Maybe something like this. Yeah, I think that looks better. Kind of. Oh, let's add another subdivision to the face. This kind of elements, like here in the nose, adds where you gotta pinch it and make it deep enough so that it shows on the print. A little more volume here. I don't want her to look like she's a teenager, so just a little bit. Let's divide eyes as well. This guy's, let's make all the detail really visible. It might have been too much, but let's see. Well, actually it's not that bad. Not bad at all. Oh, that's too much now. Smooth a little bit. Yeah, it looks nice. Right? And it'll be easy to paint since it's inside the sphere. Now, some of you were asking about the what's the word? The lids, the eyelids. Let's merge them to the face by, I'm gonna put this at the bottom of the list, this one as well, and then the face. Now I'm gonna lose subdivisions here, but I don't even care about them anymore since I do like where how the face is looking. Just wanna work maybe a little bit more details. Details actually don't matter. I'm not gonna lose those, but I'm gonna lose the lower subdivisions. So maybe if I wanted to make some big changes, it can be a problem in the future after doing what I'm about to do. But since I think I won't be doing any of those, I'll just go ahead and do it. Now let's just move this lip a little bit. All right. Actually, I do want to make a little change here. All right. So let's go to the awesome. That makes the mouth look way better. Pops a little bit more. Alright, now let's grab the eyelids. I'm gonna save before doing this. And merge down. Yes, merge down again. And now that these are all one same object, let's dynamesh them together. So I'm gonna go and dynamesh it as it is. That's too low. Let's go for 1500. That's almost there. But you can see already how the eyelids are merging into the face, and it looks super nice. This transition looks super cool, right? Just the way I want it to be. So that's still too low, so let's try 25. And I think that's good. Now we can turn Dynamesh off and basically just keep sculpting. Now there's some cleanup to do here, but it's nothing to worry about. So I'm just making sure all of this transitions and plane changes and shapes look super nice at a distance. Just want to make sure they show on the print. Having problems here because of the topology. I'll try to be super careful so that I don't have to zero mesh it again, because I'm gonna lose detail if I do, so try to be super careful here. Now these are too big right now. Look weird. That's better. I might have to subdivide again. Might be time right now. Let's do it. Okay. Now in here we can just grab the cracks brush and make this part more noticeable. And let's create some sort of eyelashes. And the way I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna mask all this part here. And let's extract. Not as big. That's fine. Let's clear the mask. Clear the mask. And I'm gonna smooth it all. Give it some sort of shape. Make it look a little bit nicer before I zero mesh it. Whoops. Oh, didn't get rid of the mask. Still there. Just noticing that the eyelid is not completely round, so I'm gonna try to do that with a pinch brush. Just clean it up a little bit. Nice. Same here. Okay. I think that's too much, so let's just smooth a little bit. Especially this part here. The inner part of the eyelid, I like it how it is. And let's continue with the eyelash. Let's also zero mesh it, but with a lower poly count, so that it's easier to maneuver. It's kind of the same as the eyebrow. There's not a lot of difference. on the process between these and the eyebrows. Just masked, extract it, and then make it look like whatever we want it to look. Make sure it doesn't go through other pieces. And I kind of like the way it looks like this. Like it's like it has volume. That's what I'm trying to say. And I like that. I like how it looks on the eye. It gives it that cartoon look I like. Even though the proportions are not as cartoon, they're also not realistic, but it's not super cartoony. And now we can use the pinch brush just to taper down this part here. I think Zebra's being weird. I'm gonna restart it. It's being weird with the intensity of the brush. Might make it even bigger, actually. I'm gonna try to keep it touching the face so that it prints nice. But if this model wasn't for 3D printing, I would not do that. Okay. Not loving it. Let's move it around a little bit. Yeah, that's way better. Yep. Just a matter of being patient and being careful. Don't try to rush through this, otherwise it won't look clean, it won't look good. Just take your time. Enjoy it. Awesome. Great. Well, that looks cool. Now, let me save and restart ZBrush. You have more patience than me. Why you say that? Well, you're still here, so that means you're patient enough to wait and see me go through all of this eyelashes and the eyelids. My point is, if you're patient enough to see me do it, I think you're patient enough to do it yourself. All right. Where is it? ZBrush. But you gotta be patient. I mean, with time you get a little bit quicker, but it's not like I'm practicing doing eyelashes every day, so it still takes time. And it'll still take time unless I practice it a lot, which I'm not planning to, but I'd rather just be patient the few times I have to do them. Alright, now let's work a little bit on the hoodie. I think it needs a little bit of work. Like, the face looks nice, the base looks pretty cool, these shoulder pads look awesome as well. Probably this armor plate is still kind of rough, but it's, in my opinion, not as important as the hoodie. So let's work on this. I think we're ready to break the symmetry, so I'm turning it off, and let's see how that goes. So first of all, I'm gonna smooth everything out. All I did before was just like putting in some folds, but they were not, those were kind of placeholders, so I'm gonna be super careful right now. If I don't like something, I'm gonna Control C as many times as I need to. Because I don't want to go through all of it and then have to go back just because it doesn't look clean or something. So I'm gonna take my time here. Let me switch that playlist. I think the other one is over already. Yeah. Okay, so those look good so far. Then like secondary forms. Right now, those little folds near the big folds will help sell the whole thing. Now I'm still working with a pretty low poly mesh. I can see all those faces there, but that's all right. That's good. That's good. Gotta be building your way up, not just subdividing and trying to do all the detail at once, because otherwise it won't look good. It won't look clean. Gotta do it little by little. Let's work this front part. Alright, let's, with pinch brush, let's try to pinch this here so that they don't look all of them the same size. Let's see how that looks. Looks good, right? Isn't bad. Although this front part, I don't love it. This here could look way better. Sorry for that. So I like this brush because I know it's the texture it gives helps a lot with most types of surfaces. Like I used it for the rock, I'm using it for the cloth right now. Can be used in a lot of ways. Gonna turn symmetry on again. I think this part will be fine with the symmetry on. Let's inflate this a little bit. Alright, it's looking nice. Let's create some folds. This is where the folds would be born, I guess, if you can say that. So I'm gonna do just little folds at the beginning. Do the same for the other side. And even though we're not detailing or committing a lot to any of these parts of the sculpt, like we're doing some detail, right? But not a lot. Like we're not spending a whole hour just on one part of it. We're trying to go through all the sculpt, trying to make it look good, adding little by little, and I'm pretty sure when I turn the solo button off and we'll see it all together, it'll look great, because this plus the base plus the shoulder pads, like even though it's not finished, it's starting to look detailed. Even though if you look closely to any part, it's not as detailed as we would want it to be. Well, not yet at least. Alright, I'm getting kind of caught up with the details here, so let's move on. Let's move on to this part. Alright. See that? It's already looking nice. With the folds here, scratches here, the rocks underneath. Like the hair could use a little bit of work. So let's divide this. And I feel like it's gonna be super easy to detail this hair, like, well, not super easy, but it's not gonna be that hard actually. So I'm gonna go in and try to define some big chunks of hair. So that's what I'll do before doing anything else, always with the hair. And let's make the end a little bit curly, like that. And I'm trying to do long brush strokes so that it doesn't look like I stopped and then did another stroke on top of it. So trying to do it in one stroke. Now let's subdivide it and do the same, but with a slightly smaller brush, following the same chunks of hair we already sculpted on the lower level. Again, I'm using clay buildup for the texture it has. just love that brush. If you don't like it, you can also try clay tubes. It's similar. It will also leave a certain texture. Alright, so that looks good enough. I feel like the big shapes of the hair should be more noticeable, so I'm gonna go in with a cracks brush and just make them pop a little bit. I don't like how these are touching, so let's move both of them. Now the hair, let's divide this separate pieces of hair and try to do the same using the same brush, just trying to follow the same shape it has, just add a little bit of detail. That looks nice. The goal is to make it look make them look like they're not separate pieces, these strands of hair, so you gotta keep tweaking them and keep working these parts where they intersect so that it looks like they're part of the same mass. That one specifically looks better now. Let's try to break this last part here a little bit into 2 chunks or 2 tips, just like that, maybe 3. Whew. Alright, so the hair actually looks nice. We'll be detailing more after we deal with the plate a little bit. Still thinking what kind of or what sort of items she could have on top of her, like hanging on her back. Maybe a backpack or something. Some sort of bag. Maybe a cape. Yeah, let's do a cape. So for the cape, we're gonna do cube probably. Let's move it back. I thought of making crossbow, but where would you put it? Like, that actually was the first thing that came to my mind, but really don't know where to put it. We could model a crossbow if you feel like it would be a good addition. So let's see. I'm not looking at any reference, so I might do this awfully, but we'll see. If it doesn't work, then I'll look for reference on the internet. If I remember correctly, this should be attached to something in here in the shoulders. As long as we put them inside the pads, it doesn't matter. Now, don't touch the pad. Doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, but it doesn't look good yet. I'm gonna lower the poly count by zero meshing. I'm gonna lose the symmetry, divide, and just do some super big folds. Just have something to start with. Okay. Actually, it doesn't look bad. Let's divide. I'm gonna smooth it all. Now that I have a general idea of where the folds should be, I'm gonna follow the same process as we did before with the hoodie. Try to be careful with it and slowly add all the folds. I'm trying to be a little bit clumsy with the strokes, just because it's supposed to be hanging. It's not like it moves more freely than a hoodie, so figured it has more folds on it. Now let's go and use our clay build-up brush just for the texture. to smooth a little bit, and now with the cracks brush I'm gonna go through these cracks that naturally formed it themselves while using the other brush, and I'm gonna make them more visible. Try to hide these side parts under the, well, of course this one already does, but the one on the right side, let's try to hide it a little bit under the pads. See what's Zebra is being weird again. Might have to restart it again. Like, I don't know why. Sometimes the pen just stops working. I mean, it works, but the sensitivity is not working anymore. So even if I do like a soft stroke, it would go. It would act as if I were using a mouse with full intensity, and I see that I'm barely touching the tablet, and it's, look what it's making. So yeah, I'm gonna save this and let's restart. It's pretty common in this computer. I don't know why. Like, it happens sometimes, but twice on the same. The same session, like, that is weird. Usually happens once a day, once every 2 days. Alright, so time for a new tablet. No, I don't think so. It's the computer, not the tablet. Like, I got a couple of tablets here, and they all do the same. Like ZBrush usually just stops recognizing the tablet and starts treating it as a mouse. And that's not necessarily like when I'm working with ZBrush and Maya. That's if that happens to ZBrush, like Maya will still recognize the tablet as it should. That's why I know it's not the tablet. Well, yeah, it kind of sucks actually, because sometimes you won't even notice, and you're like, it's just being weird. But if you're not paying enough attention, you won't notice. And like, if I do a super light stroke right now, see, it barely is. It's barely noticeable. And if I press onto the brush, you can see the difference. So that's pressing. That's not pressing. So I gotta go a couple of times to get to the same level. And it lets me be more clean, but I don't know. Like, at least I know how to fix it, and it's not a big deal. Alright, time for pinch. Now, I think this looks pretty messy. Although I got the general look and the faults in there, I want it to look a little bit cleaner. So I'm gonna go with a pinch and holding Alt. I'm gonna go through all, turn up the intensity a little bit, and go, not that much, through all of these creases here. See how that looks? And now releasing Alt, I'm gonna pinch this part here. So that looks way cleaner. Now with the pinch brush, doing a big brush, I'm gonna gently do that so that this fold in here tapers like that. And now with the cracks brush, I'm gonna divide again. With the cracks brush, I'm gonna go through all these new pinched parts just to make them pop even more. Now that looks way cleaner. Let's smooth a little bit of the detail. Looking good. Yeah, it's looking good, right? Glad you were liking it. Just gonna add just a couple of little details. These folds, and then I think we're gonna be done for tonight. It's been super relaxing. It's been also a slow process, but I'm really happy with how this is looking already. Can't wait for my new printer to arrive to print this. Hopefully paint it if my Warhammer and new paints are here yet. So I'm just following the same shapes of the folds, just adding a little bit of detail. Nice. So let's do something real quick before we finish. Still not happy with the nose. I think it's too big. I know I said I wouldn't be doing big changes to the face, but if I'm not happy with it, I'm gonna change it still. Alright. So let's see how much does this take. Not that much. Let's do a quick render, turntable render. Let's center this girl here. And now go to movie, where is it? Movie, modifiers, title image. Let's turn this off, overlay image, turn it off. And I think that's it. 360 frames. Let's turntable, see if that is fine. Yeah, it is. Alright, now let's turn on perspective. Move this a little bit just so that it's not completely centered. Render. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. Turntable. Why is it taking so long? Oh, is it gonna take that long for each frame? Well, I think it is. Alright, so I'll wait for this to finish, and I'll post it on Discord. Really happy with this sculpt. It's turning out really well. I think this will be one of those that I print and keep on my work desk. Like, all the detail looks super cool. And I'm not really sure how tall it should be once printed, but maybe a little bit bigger, like 15 centimeters tall. That'd be cool. There must be a standard, right? Like standard bust, like painting or competition busts sizes. I don't know if that's a thing. Alright, let's see. Hopefully this won't crash. Oh, Twitch has been super slow tonight. Alright guys, I think that's gonna be it. If you have any questions or any suggestions, requests, we'll be doing polls soon. So far we have a Gentleman's Steampunk Guncat, a Flint Fireforge, which is a character from the, I can't remember his name, from some novels. Tasselhoff Burfoot, Ice Devil, Woman, like pack of women for brothels, and the Fork Knight. If you have any suggestions or any requests, let me know. I'll put it on the list for the next polls. And from the past poll, we're only missing the horse. We'll be doing that once we're done with this bust. Looking forward to printing it. Oh, me too. Hopefully 1 or 2 more sessions should be enough to call this one done. Like there's not that much left to do. Like we gotta finish the hair, we gotta finish the hoodie. Like the face is 95% done. I don't want to do a whole lot more to that. The base is almost done. The pads, they need work, but not too much. Like basically everything's at a point where you could stay as it is and look good, or we could keep working on it and make it look great. So probably 2 to 5 more hours of sculpting should be enough. But alright, I'll wait for this to finish and then post it on Discord if you guys wanna see the whole turntable. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here and chatting. It's been a blast, as always. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. And I'll see you on Discord. Alright. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.